Hey, it's Rob from Wheelworks Bike Shop in Dublin. Doing an unboxing today, or two. Sun is shining. I thought we'd come outside and do it, although it's chilly. It's December in Dublin. This is one of the new colour Madones. Oh, that's really nice, yeah, I like that. Okay, this is the first one of these we've had in this colour. It is a Madone SL. It's an SL5, so it's Shimano 105. It's in size medium, and the colour code is PRCN, which is lavender and black, purple and carbon, and it's -UK. So the UK relates to the market that the bike is built for, and you might wonder why it's built for UK as opposed to anywhere else, or what the difference is. So what the difference is the brake guide. So in UK and Ireland, we drive on the left-hand side of the road. So the idea is when you're riding along and you want to pull out into traffic, you can still brake the rear brake with your left hand and indicate out to the right. So your brakes will be set up rear on the left for Ireland, UK, Australia, or anywhere that drives on the left. And then in mainland Europe and continental Europe, where they drive on the right, and you want to pull out into traffic, you need to be able to indicate to pull out and brake with your right hand on the rear brake, because if you brake the front brake with one hand only, you could lose control. So that's my explaining for today. So the colour is lavender, which seems to be fashionable on the colour palette for 2026, and it's a satin finish. White, grey logos more than white, I think, and matte black, satin black at the back of the frame. And that's not an orange fork, that's tape to protect it. So you'll see they're using tape on here now, as opposed to what would have come on a bike to protect the fork before, would have been a lot of this foam packaging. So they've done away with all of that, which is great for protecting the bike, but I'd imagine is really bad for the environment. It's probably not recyclable and just goes into landfill. So there's very little waste packaging on the bike now, and what is there is recyclable. So there's this chopped up paper stuff which is recyclable. We'll reuse that in our own shipping boxes, so it gets used a couple of times before it goes into recycling. Anyway, that's enough about environmental stuff, and we'll move on to talking about bikes now. So this is a Madone. Madone is Trek's lightweight aero road bike. It's their race geometry. This is a size medium. They go down as far as extra small and up as far as, definitely up as far as extra large, and maybe double X in this as well. I should really know that. Somebody can let me know what that is in the comments. Does it come in a double XL in the Madone SL5? And if it does, and if you're 7 foot tall and riding a double XL, would you ride it in lavender, or would you prefer black, which would be the more traditional colour? And what do you think of the lavender? We have a nice sunny day today, so you get a good idea of what it's like. I'm just going to put these bars on and we'll get the rest of the packaging off, and I'll go through the spec with you. So it's an aluminium blender stem, and there's a little cap bolts in here, so your cables all run in underneath the stem behind the cap and are effectively hidden, but they're not fully internal, so it's easy to change stem or handlebars if you need to do that from a fitting point of view. Whereas if it's all internal in the stem, then it's a big job to change that out afterwards for a size point of view. The group set is Shimano 105 12-speed mechanical. I was just saying to Chad before we started this, next time I come out to do an unboxing, I'll pick up one of the little power drill drivers so I don't spend 5 minutes putting the bolts on the stem at the front. Chad's holding up traffic here, standing out in the middle of the road to get the shot. If you see things vibrating, that's him getting hit by a car. The picture suddenly tilts sideways. Sorry, back to the spec. 105 12-speed mechanical. It's a full carbon frame, carbon fork, carbon seat mast, which we'll take out. It's in one of those boxes out of the side. I'll get that in a second. I'm just putting this on more or less correctly for the purposes of the video. So you've got the Madone logo on the top tube here, and you can see they've got a clever Madone with this double circle, which is actually 8, and it's Madone number 8. So it's the 8th generation of the Madone frame. Shimano 105 12-speed group set. Some more recyclable packaging here. And the cardboard. So if there's anybody watching the video who works in a bike shop or deals with other bike brands, I'd be interested to know if other brands are following the same trend of reducing the packaging on their bikes, or are they all still coming with tons and tons of foam and plastics? That annoying noise you can hear is a car reversing or a van reversing next door. You've aluminium wheels, Bontrager Paradigm tubeless TLR 23s, aluminium rims, aluminium hubs, Bontrager R3 tyres. You have a really wide range of gears on the 105 12-speed. I think it's a 36 on the rear and 50-34 on the front. So I'll just get that off and we'll put the saddle on, let you have a look at it, and then we'll get it into the workshop. We'll get the lads to finish it off. You can see as well the bars are quite narrow on the top and tapered. And a lot of the road bikes are going for that narrower top now to give you a more aero position on the tops, the hoods. So we have a box of bits here. Should be, I'll show you what's in it. So, saddle. There's a UK declaration of conformity, which is the UK that I said on the box, which is your brake setup and all that sort of stuff. These are assembled in Germany. Yeah, they're assembled in Germany in Trex plant there. We got sealant for the tires. We have a seat mast. Stackers, split stackers for the stem, which are going to go in here. We're not going to do that today. And they just hide the cables. We've got a Shimano setup tool for your derailleur, for setting the height for the front derailleur for a 36 or a 34. We got a bell, which is a legal requirement for the UK. The Shimano disc spacers are here so that if you take your wheels off, you pop those into the brake discs, and it means that if you pull the lever when there's no wheel in there, when there's no disc in place, the calipers would close and lock. That stops that from happening. We got your reflectors, which are also a legal requirement in the UK. We have an Allen key skewer. I'll show you that because they're an interesting little piece of kit. So they're true axles on the bike, and the lever for unscrewing, I'll show you how it works instead of describing it while I have it in my hand. So the axle is, so I don't know if you can see that, Chad can get in a bit closer there. So the axle is recessed into the fork, tapered in, and then you've got this lever, and this lever is quite clever. So it's a machined aluminium lever, and this is 5mm and this is 4mm Allen key head, and the 5mm you just push it all the way in, and that's your lever for taking the true axle out, and that works one lever for both front and rear wheels. But because you've got a 4mm Allen key on it, you could also use that to adjust your stem or your saddle height or whatever, and then they store in the skewer for when you're riding, and they're quite a tight fit to put them in and out, so you won't lose it. We'll put the so let me see what's in this. There's a bit off the stem cap, so that's the pieces I'm looking for there, which are the ears off the seat post. So the seat masts or the seat posts all come without the little ears that go on them, and the idea for that is that if you have a saddle with round rails like manganese or alloy rails, you use one type of clamp on the top, and if you've got a carbon rail saddle which would have oval rails, you need a different clamp. So they supply the clamp separate to the seat mast so that you don't end up with the wrong one. Just pop this together. There should be a bolt in there as well. There we go. So you can see on the down tube on this one here that you've got, on both the down tube and the seat tube actually, you've got 3 bottle cage bolts on both, so you can adjust your bottle cage position up or down. The idea with that on this bike in particular is the Madone, when they launched it, I'm after coming out without the right Allen key for that, so I'm just going to do it up very loosely by hand and pop it into place at a funny angle. So anyway, back to the bottle cages. The Madone, when they launched it, the Gen 8 bike, it's lightweight aero, so it's not as aero as a traditional Gen 7, for example. But when you add the new bottles, the new aero bottles, Trek claim that it's as aero or as fast as the previous model. But you need to position the bottles in quite tight to each other, so you've got multiple bottle positions there if you're going to set it up with the aero bottles. So I'm going to just show you this with the saddle in this funky position because I'm after leaving my 5mm Allen key inside. So what we have today is Madone SL5 in lavender carbon, Shimano 105 12-speed Treasure alloy wheels. This colour is available in the SL6 and in the SL7 as well, I believe. The SL6 will be 105 Di2, and the SL7 is Ultegra carbon wheels, different handlebars and stuff like that. So we'll get it in the workshop, we'll get it finished correctly so that it looks like a bike, and we'll do another couple of videos and photos afterwards.